up, YouTube? Today we're going to be doing the front brakes on this Saab 9.5 wagon, the Aero version. Go ahead and take off your wheels. Alright, so here's our brake setup. Next thing we want to do, or next thing that we can do, is go ahead and take this screw out on the rotor, as well as this retainer / noise reducing clip. I don't know what the proper term for that is, but that's what it does. Pretty much just grab that bad boy with a pair of pliers and you can pretty much just pull it out of there. It is under slight tension, so of course beware of that, but it should come out just fine. This one could be a doozy here if it's stripped out, so it may need to be drilled out, but we'll have to see. Alright, so we went ahead and took an Allen wrench and loosened this up on our rotor here. We're going to go around, try to do the same thing on the other side. I believe this is a 5mm, but I could be wrong. Your results with this may vary, and it may be easier to use a socket, so it just kind of depends, but I was able to break that other one loose with this, so I'm going to try to do that again. Yeah, this one we may need a socket for. This is another method you can use as well. This one did seem to work. So we're going to go ahead and get this one out on the passenger side. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead. We're going to grab this spring with some pliers and just kind of pop it out of there on the bottom. And then do the same thing on the top. Just got to grab it real good with the pliers. Pull it out of there and do the same thing on the other side. All right, here we are on the driver front. Next thing we want to do is go ahead, put your fingernail right here and pop these little caps out of the back. And inside there, we'll get a light so you can see better. It's going to be an Allen socket. So then I'm going to go ahead and pop this other one out on the bottom. If you can't get it out with your fingernail, you can use a screwdriver as well. And we've got another Allen bolt. These effectively are your slide pins. So they don't really come that way, but I always like to put just a thin layer of grease on those when I put them back on. So we're going to go ahead and grab an Allen socket as well as a ratchet. And we're going to take those off on both sides. Before we get to that, we'll go ahead and pop these off on the passenger side as well. So there's one, and if it'll come out for me. There we go. Both of those are out. All right, we're going ahead and loosening those up now from the back side. While you're spinning, it's a good idea to give it a little pull because that spin will lock the socket in and it'll also kind of pull it out for you. And you should be able to wiggle it out. And of course do the same thing on all of the other three. Next thing we're going to do is go ahead and pull these calipers back and off. And it looks like the rear brake pad kind of clips into the piston like that. And then the other one just kind of goes into place in the caliper there. Then we're going to hang this up on something so we don't stress the brake hose, and we'll focus on the rotor and bracket. Alright, so we went on ahead and turned the wheel all the way to the left. Now we've got these two E-Torx bolts. I'm not sure what size they are yet. We're going to have to go ahead and take those off so we can remove the caliper bracket. And then we're going to give this rotor a whack or two, and it should also come off. Of course, we're going to follow those same steps here on the passenger side. Alright, so we got this E20 E-Torx socket on there. And we had to use a little bit of a extension bar to get it loose. But once you get them both broke free, you can take an impact or something, get them out the rest of the way. We just didn't have one in the 3/8 edition, which is what this socket is. So we had to break them free first. And then of course, we're going to do the same thing on the other side once we get done with that, and turn the wheel to the right instead. All right, now that the caliper bracket's off, we're going to bop it a couple times with a big old hammer, and then it should come right on off of there. It's an excellent idea to go ahead and sand down the surface of the hub. If you're using new rotors, the inside of the rotor should be good already. And then most definitely clean this down as well. Keep your wheels from getting stuck. And then you're going to do the same thing over here on the other side. Right on. Now we're going on ahead and sanding down the hub surface as well as the part that touches the wheel here. Try to clean it up as much as possible to eliminate rotor runout, which can cause vibrations while you're braking. We would normally use a whiz wheel, but the compressor is down today. We're just using these wire brushes. That should do pretty good as well. Another thing you want to do, go ahead and get you a brake tool, and you want to go ahead and use it to push your piston back in to where it's completely flat. As you can see, piston is all the way down. Bring you a little closer, just in case you couldn't. Now we got room for new thick brake pads. Of course, you want to take this tool to the passenger side as well, and go ahead and do the same process again. Good idea to go ahead and put your caliper brackets in a vise and clean them up real good with a wire brush before installing any new hardware or greasing them. And once you get all of that cleaned up with your wire brush, you can go ahead and grease the appropriate spots. You want to do this on both sides or on all four if you're doing all the brake. All right, next we can go ahead and place our rotor on. And of course we're going to want to line up the holes and then put our rotor screw in and tighten it down. Next you want to go ahead, put your bracket back in place and put these E-Torx bolts back in. Tighten them up and do the same thing on the other side. Next, we're going ahead and putting these pads in. We don't mean to hurt your feelings, but we are using the Brembo brakes on this one. Got that one in there as well. So then we can go ahead and put the caliper on next. Go ahead and tighten up those caliper bolts after cleaning and lubricating them. And then, last thing, we're going to go ahead and put our clip back on. But the ones we got for the rear that are supposed to be shorter, they were incorrect. We're going to use those new ones for the rear that came with it on the front. Go ahead and set it up like that. I may need to use the pliers again, we'll have to see. But we get that kind of in there, and then we pull this around. There we go. And then you may need to give it a little tap, but it's in there. And that's what it should look like, totally completed. And of course you want to do the same steps on the other side. You got both sides all finished up. Should look just like this. And here's the other one as well, one more time. Very nice. That's going to be the end of the video for today, guys. Hope you all enjoyed. Please go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe, and check out one of these videos. And otherwise, I will see you on the next one.